$2. 1 bag of apples. 4 warm, comforting meals. Today I'm going to show you just how much a little can become. A sweet breakfast, a savory snack, a hearty dinner, and so much more. Everything made with simple ingredients you can find at any grocery store. And at the very end, I'll share a tip that truly changes everything. With this one tip, your apples will stay crisp and fresh for weeks. Stay with me until the very end. You won't regret it, I promise. Let's get started. The kitchen is warm and everything is ready for us. These 4 dishes work beautifully any time of year, especially in autumn. Total cooking time, under 2 hours for all 4 recipes combined. You only need a few simple tools, a knife and a good skillet. Every one of these dishes costs you less than $1 per serving. Sweet or savory, there's something here for every taste and every mood. The apple brings natural sweetness and a wonderful texture to every dish. Let's first talk about which apples work best for cooking like this. Tart varieties like Granny Smith are just perfect for savory cooking. For sweet recipes, I'd recommend a Honeycrisp or a Fuji apple. Alright, let's go ahead and begin with recipe number 1 right now. Recipe 1. Warm apple cinnamon oatmeal. Simple, filling, and deeply comforting. You'll need rolled oats, whole milk, 1 apple, cinnamon, and brown sugar. We'll also use a little butter and brown sugar for that lovely caramel finish. First, we peel the apple, using a sharp paring knife. Nice and easy. The peel comes away cleanly, in one long, satisfying ribbon, just like that. Now we have the apple and carefully remove the core from each half. Just cut the core away with a small paring knife. It takes only seconds. Then we dice the apple into small, even pieces, about 1/4 inch. Small pieces caramelize faster and cook more evenly in the pan. That's why. The pan goes over medium heat now. There is absolutely no rush here. A small pat of butter melts slowly and gently in the warm pan. Watch the butter melt and just barely begin to foam. That's exactly right. Now the apple pieces go in. Listen to that gentle, beautiful sizzle. Hear that? That quiet sizzle is the beginning of something truly wonderful. We swirl the pan gently so everything cooks evenly. No burning, no rush. After just 2 minutes, the edges are turning a lovely light golden brown. Now the cinnamon goes in. Just half a teaspoon is all you need. The cinnamon smells absolutely incredible the moment it hits that warm pan. Then the brown sugar. It transforms everything into pure caramel magic. Watch the sugar melt and wrap itself around every single piece of apple. One more gentle swirl. Don't stir too vigorously. Just let it flow. The apples are done when they're soft, but still holding their shape nicely. Perfect. We set them aside and now we cook the oatmeal alongside. For the oatmeal, pour whole milk into a small saucepan and warm it. A small pinch of salt goes into the milk. This step is important. When the milk begins to steam gently, pour the rolled oats right in. Now stir on low heat, slowly and steadily. Take your time with this. The oats swell and thicken up beautifully. This takes about 5 minutes. Keep stirring so nothing sticks to the bottom. Patience always pays off here. The consistency should be creamy, not too thin and not too stiff. Good. The oatmeal is thick, creamy, and absolutely ready. Just beautiful. Choose a warm bowl. Ceramic or stoneware feels best in your hands. Ladle the oatmeal in carefully, using a generous large spoon. Smooth the surface gently. We want it looking beautiful before the topping. Now the caramelized apple pieces go right on top. Look at that color. Watch the warm caramel sauce run slowly down into the oatmeal beneath it. One final drizzle of that caramel sauce poured right from the warm pan. And to finish, one last gentle dusting of ground cinnamon over the whole bowl. Look at that, simply beautiful, and the smell right now is just incredible. Warm, creamy, and sweet. The perfect breakfast for a cold, quiet morning. One serving costs you less than 50 cents. Truly, less than 50 cents. Feel free to add walnuts or raisins on top. Both are wonderful additions. Or use a drizzle of honey instead of brown sugar, even more natural. This oatmeal keeps you full for hours. Perfect for a long, slow morning. It works beautifully as meal prep too. Just make it the evening before. In the morning, warm it gently and add the caramel apple right on top. Try different spices as well, cardamom, nutmeg, or a drop of vanilla extract. A little vanilla gives the oatmeal a warm, deeper, and more comforting richness. This recipe is flexible. Adjust every ingredient to suit your own taste. Even grandchildren love this oatmeal, even with just a little less sugar. Apple for freshness, cinnamon for warmth. Together, a perfect, timeless pair. Recipe 1 is complete, lovely, affordable, and absolutely delicious. Well done. Now let's move to something a little more savory. Recipe number 2. But first, just a few quick words about the ingredients we'll need. Sourdough bread, sharp cheddar cheese, and half an apple. That is truly all. Quick question for you. What apple dish do you love most of all? Leave your answer down in the comments. I read every single one. I genuinely look forward to your answers. Every single one truly means a lot. Recipe 2. A warm, savory apple and cheddar toast. Crispy and irresistible. Ingredients: sourdough bread, sharp cheddar, 1 apple, butter, and fresh thyme. A good sharp cheddar is essential here. The more aged it is, the better. Apple and cheddar might sound unusual, but please trust me on this one. This combination has been a beloved classic in England for hundreds of years. Slice the apple into very thin rounds. Almost paper thin is truly perfect. Thin slices nearly melt into the bread as they cook. A beautiful result. Cut the cheddar into nice, thick, generous slices for our sandwich. We need plenty of cheese here. It should fully melt and flow freely. Butter the bread generously with softened butter, all the way to the edges. Butter both sides of each slice. That gives us the golden, crispy crust. Lay the thin apple slices across one side of the buttered bread. Overlap the slices slightly, like little roof shingles, laid neatly side by side. Now lay the cheddar slices generously and evenly across the apple layer. A few fresh thyme leaves scattered on top. This small touch is the secret. Thyme and aged cheddar together. A flavor combination made for each other forever. Press the second bread slice firmly on top, gently but with confidence. Heat the skillet over medium heat, not too high, or the butter will burn. Add butter to the pan and let it foam gently, not brown, just foam. Lower the sandwich into the foamy butter, buttered side facing down. Hear that sizzle? That beautiful sound is the golden crust beginning to form. Press the sandwich down lightly with your spatula, gently and steadily. Don't press too hard. The filling needs to stay right where it belongs. After 3 minutes, lift one corner and peek at the underside carefully. Perfect golden color. That is exactly the beautiful result we were after. Now flip the sandwich with confidence and one smooth, decisive motion. The second side needs a little less time than the first, so keep a close watch. Look, the cheese is already beginning to melt and ooze at the edges. Cheese creeping out at the edges. That is always a very good sign. 1 more minute, then this beautiful golden sandwich comes off the heat. Lift the sandwich from the pan. It feels wonderfully heavy with all that cheese. Set it on a wooden board and let it rest, just 30 seconds. Now, the most beautiful moment of all, slicing right through the center. Hear that crust crunch as the knife presses through? Absolutely wonderful. Look, the cheese is pulling into long golden strings. Simply dreamy. And in between, the soft apple slices, nearly invisible, perfectly melted in. Sweet and savory all at once, this combination truly surprises everyone. The apple brings a natural, gentle, lovely sweetness to the whole sandwich. The thyme gives a subtle, herby note that you absolutely cannot replicate. Together, they create a flavor combination that you simply will not forget. This sandwich works beautifully as lunch, a snack, or a light evening meal. It holds up well cold too. Wrap it and take it wherever you go. Try Gruyere or Gouda instead of cheddar for a different and delicious profile. And if you like it a little tangy, a small amount of Dijon on the bread. A leaf of arugula or baby spinach tucked inside works wonderfully as well. Or a small drizzle of honey over the cheese, a lovely classic combination. The possibilities are truly endless, but the simple base stays always the same. Cost per sandwich, just under 50 cents. Hard to believe, but absolutely true. This recipe is easy enough for any beginner, no real cooking experience needed. Now let's move to a warm classic, our third recipe of the day. A creamy apple and potato soup, warm, filling, and wonderfully affordable. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel now. You won't want to miss the next affordable recipe idea coming very soon. We're a small, warm little kitchen community here, so glad you're with us. Recipe 3, creamy apple and potato soup. Simple, warm, and deeply satisfying. Ingredients: potatoes, 1 apple, 1 onion, broth, heavy cream, and fresh thyme. Affordable ingredients that most of us already have sitting right in our kitchen. First, peel the onion and chop it into rough, large pieces. Chop the onion coarsely. It will be blended completely smooth at the end. Now peel the potatoes. Steady and even strokes. No need to rush at all. Cut the potatoes into rough chunks, about 1.5 inches across. Peel the apple, core it, and cut it into rough chunks the same size. Apple and potato together give this soup an incredibly smooth, silky texture. Set a large pot over medium heat and let it warm up gradually. Add butter and gently cook the onion until it turns soft and translucent. The onion smells absolutely wonderful right now. You might be hungry already. Add the potato and apple pieces and let them cook briefly in the warm butter. Stir everything well so every piece gets coated in that lovely warm butter. Pour in the broth, just enough to barely cover all the vegetables. One thyme sprig goes in. It adds a lovely, subtle, earthy note. Season lightly with salt and pepper now. We'll taste and adjust at the end. Bring it to a gentle boil over high heat, then lower it right down. Lid on, low flame. 20 minutes of gentle, quiet, patient simmering. That's all. This moment, the kitchen smells like autumn and warmth and deep comfort. While the soup simmers, let's prepare a simple garnish for the top. A few thin apple slices for the garnish, elegant and beautifully simple. And a few small fresh thyme leaves. The tiny details always make a difference. After 20 minutes, test the potatoes with a fork. They should be fully tender. Perfect. The potatoes are tender and crumbling. Just exactly how we want them. Remove the thyme sprig and discard it. It has done its job beautifully. Now for the immersion blender. This is the truly magical moment of the soup. Lower it in slowly and start on the lowest speed setting first. Watch as the pieces slowly disappear and become completely smooth and creamy. The apple is what gives this soup its impossibly silky, smooth, luxurious texture. Blend until it's completely smooth throughout, no chunks remaining anywhere. Now stir in the heavy cream. It makes the soup even more luxurious. Stir in gently. Never boil the soup after the cream has been added. The color lightens, and the texture becomes even more velvety and beautiful. Taste it now. Maybe it needs just a touch more salt or a squeeze of lemon. A small squeeze of lemon juice lifts the apple flavor in a wonderful way. Choose a deep, wide bowl for the soup. The shape really does matter here. Ladle the soup in slowly and deliberately, using a big serving ladle. Fill the bowl about 2/3 full. Leave a little room for the garnish. Now the garnish, a small, pretty swirl of cream right in the center. That swirl of cream sits beautifully against the warm, golden soup beneath it. A thin apple slice fanned out alongside, simple, elegant, and so inviting. One small thyme sprig on top, almost like a tiny, charming little work of art. Look at that, a soup that looks like something from a fine dining restaurant. Warm, creamy, and lightly sweet, like a warm hug that you can eat. It pairs beautifully with fresh bread. Dark sourdough is especially wonderful. Or homemade croutons made from stale bread. Never waste a single thing. This soup also tastes even better the very next day. The flavors deepen overnight. Just reheat it gently and add a little extra broth if it's become too thick. It freezes beautifully as well. Stays good for up to 3 full months. Variation. Add fresh ginger and a pinch of turmeric for a warming winter kick. Or a little curry powder for something more exotic and bold in its flavor. For a vegan version, use vegetable broth and coconut cream instead of heavy cream. The base recipe stays exactly the same, only the extras change. Make it yours. Cost per serving, under 60 cents for one large, generous, satisfying bowl. 4 servings from this amount, enough to carry you through the whole week. This soup nourishes you, warms you, and costs almost nothing at all, just perfect. Recipe 3, finished. Let's move on to our very last recipe now. Recipe 4 is the sweetest dish of everything we'll make today. The very best. An old recipe that still warms the heart every single time. Truly, it does. Remember, at the very beginning I promised you a special, useful trick today. The trick comes right after recipe 4. Just hold on a little bit longer. It is well worth the wait. This tip will genuinely save you money. Recipe 4, baked cinnamon apples. A classic that truly feeds the soul. You'll need 4 apples, rolled oats, cinnamon, brown sugar, and a few walnuts. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, top and bottom heat. While the oven preheats, let's prepare the filling for our apples. Brown sugar, cinnamon, and rolled oats. Combine them all in a small bowl. Roughly chop the walnuts and add them into the same bowl as well. Look at the beautiful textures already forming in this simple filling mixture. Cut cold butter into small cubes and add them into the bowl. Work the butter in with your fingertips until it looks and feels like wet sand. That crumbly texture is the entire secret behind a wonderful stuffed apple filling. Now the apples. Choose firm ones that stand upright on their own. Cut the top off each apple. It becomes a charming little lid later. Use an apple corer or a small spoon to hollow out the center carefully. Don't go all the way through. The bottom of each apple must stay intact. The opening should be generous enough to hold all of that lovely filling. Prepare all 4 apples this same way. It gets a little faster each time. Press the filling generously into each apple. Really pack it in there firmly. It's perfectly fine to overfill them a little. It settles as they bake. Set that little apple lid back on top at a slight angle. Charming and inviting. Place all 4 apples in a ceramic baking dish, snugly side by side. A small pat of butter on each apple for a beautiful, shiny golden gloss. Pour a little water or apple juice into the base of the baking dish. That small amount of liquid keeps the apples perfectly moist as they bake. Slide the dish into the preheated oven on the middle rack position. The oven does all the work from here. 30 to 40 minutes is enough. Through the oven window, we can watch them slowly and beautifully transform. After 20 minutes, the kitchen smells of warm cinnamon and caramel. Heavenly. The apple skin begins to wrinkle and pull away from the sides, a good sign. The filling caramelizes slowly, sugar and butter melting together perfectly inside. A little more patience now. Good things have always needed a little more time. The oven timer rings, 30 minutes have passed, the moment has finally arrived. Put on your oven mitts and carefully remove the dish from the oven. Look, golden brown, tender, caramelized, absolutely beautiful in every single way. The warm caramel runs down the sides of each apple, incredibly irresistible. Let the apples rest for just 5 minutes before serving. Patience, just a moment. While they rest, let's quickly make a simple cool cream topping alongside. Cream cheese, a splash of cream, and a drop of vanilla extract. That is all. That topping is light, cool, and pairs just perfectly with the warm baked apple. Carefully lift 1 apple from the baking dish using a large, wide spoon. Place it on a beautiful plate with all that warm caramel spooned around it. Add a generous spoonful of the cool cream topping right beside the apple. Set that little lid back on at a slight angle, like a charming little hat. This looks like it came straight from a restaurant, and it costs almost nothing. Press a spoon inside and look at what has happened in there during baking. The filling is golden, soft, and carries the pure scent of autumn warmth. Look, the apple is so tender it practically falls apart all on its own. The cool cream alongside, a perfect contrast of warm against cool. Warm and cool, sweet and just a little tart. Absolutely perfect balance. Also wonderful with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, or freshly whipped cream. Or perfectly wonderful completely plain, with nothing at all added, just as it is. The cost, under 30 cents per apple, truly and completely unbelievably affordable. Recipe 4, finished. We have very nearly made it all the way through today. And now, the trick I promised you. I always keep my promises to you. Wrap each apple individually in a piece of newspaper, every single one separately. Each apple gets its very own little paper package. That part is very important. The newspaper holds in moisture and gently regulates the temperature around each apple. Place the wrapped apples in a cool, dark box or wooden crate. A cool basement, garage, or a dark shelf in your home works perfectly well. Stored this way, your apples will last 6 to 8 weeks. No exaggeration. You save money and you reduce food waste at the very same time, both together. Today we made 4 complete dishes from just one $2 bag of apples. Oatmeal, cheddar apple toast, a creamy soup, and baked cinnamon apples, $2. If you enjoyed today, a subscribe would truly mean the world to me. Until next time, stay curious, stay in the kitchen, and take good care of yourself.